Okay. Hi, I'm Maxi, and this is Ole, and we program robots in Rust. For this talk, we want to take you on a 10-minute journey showcasing how we use Rust to play soccer with humanoid robots. We are a team in the RoboCup, which is an international competition of autonomous humanoid robots playing soccer. That means actual matches, 7 versus 7 robots fighting for the ball and scoring goals. In our division, the Standard Platform League, all teams use identical hardware, which is a small humanoid robot called Now, which you can see on the right-hand side of the slides. And this leads to our focus being on software engineering, teamwork, perception, planning, and motion control. To sum it up, we are doing real-time robotics under physical, strategic, and computational constraints. But who are we? We are the Hulks, a team of students and robotics enthusiasts from Hamburg University of Technology in Germany. And we are active in the RoboCup as a team since 2013, contributing to open source software, as well as regularly publishing our scientific contributions in form of research papers. But most importantly, and this is also why we are here, we are the first team in the SPL to seriously integrate Rust in our robot control. Actually, nowadays, we use Rust all over the place. It starts with a custom Yocto Linux, a full Linux distribution for the robot, and an SDK with Rust compilers and cargo to target the Now platform. On top of that runs our entire robot control stack, written in pure Rust. That includes perception algorithms, for example, seeing the ball, field marks, or other robots, detecting teammates, and sensor fusion, filters, providing localization and state estimation, behavior of multiple robots to make them actually do something useful on the field, and finally, motion control. That means, for example, just walking itself, getting from A to B, or getting up if the robot is fallen down. On our end, we use Rust-based tooling to talk to the robot via WebSockets, providing live visualization of the robot's internal state or replaying past recorded matches and revisiting bugs we encountered during the last games. We also built a full simulation environment using the Bevy engine to test and simulate our robot's behavioral decisions. I now want to take a short moment to showcase some of that tooling. Here you can see our live visualization of a recorded event. And I can hit play and just watch through the robot's eyes and re-experiencing the game we played in the last competition. We can see a map panel displaying the live localization of the robot, as well as some perceptions, the ball the robot sees in the image. We can see some state being plotted here of which role the robot, for example, takes, like being striker or supporting. Some plots of, for example, here the IMU, which we can easily see that the robot just fell down and has to stand up back again. And also the images of the robot. Like we can look through and also fine-tune our algorithms to actually be perfect in corner situations where it's difficult to see the ball, for example. We can also use the exact same tooling to just connect to a live robot. Like we just enter the IP address, and here you can see us through the camera, through the robot's eyes in live. Okay. This tooling is all written in Rust. Most other teams in the RoboCup program their robots in C++, and so did we a few years ago. I probably don't have to convince you that Rust is the superior language, as we also turn to Rust for its modern ecosystem, its memory safety. That means no null pointers, no dangling references, no data races or undefined behavior, and the borrow checker, which just prevents you from doing stupid things. But it turns out the largest benefit was actually new contributors being able to write robotics code without breaking internals. The robot just doesn't crash because of some misplaced pointer. This drastically reduces our integration effort and gets new students started quickly, speeding up our onboarding process.
Yeah, so let's now take a look into some insights on how we use Rust in our code base. And so when we started using Rust, there wasn't any Rust robotics framework around, so we had to write our own. And our framework is event-driven and node-based, which means that code is structured into individual nodes, which are triggered by inputs, then execute and produce the output, which in turn then triggers other nodes. And what is cool about that is that the whole dependency graph between inputs and outputs is checked at compile time. So if we have a cyclic dependency between nodes, this is a compile time error. Another major strength of our framework is that we really care to sort sensor events in time correctly. This is essential when you want to integrate sensor measurements into filters, for example, Kalman filters. Also, we prioritize performance. So we use zero copy techniques for message passing between nodes, and almost all of our framework is designed to be log-free. And if you want to read more about the concepts and design choices of our framework, we wrote a paper about it, and you can see its title here. So if you're interested, just check it out. Now, of course, the framework is fundamental to our robotics Rust stack, but the average developer in our team does not really have to interact with the internals of the framework a lot. Instead, they try to solve robotics domain problems. And one recurring challenge we have to solve is juggling coordinate systems. And to make that easier, we designed a crate called linear algebra, which is a wrapper crate around an algebra. And it extends it by allowing to tag points, vectors, and transforms with coordinate systems. And coordinate systems are just Rust unit structs. And this allows us to express computations in the Rust type system. So for example, if we detect a ball in the camera coordinate system and we want to plan a path to the ball, which happens in the ground coordinate system, we have to explicitly convert the ball to the ground coordinate system using the right transform. And if we wouldn't do that, this would be a compile time error because the compiler knows all about the coordinate systems being used. And this again increases the confidence that if our code compiles, it is also correct. We also engage in scientific research. So for example, this season, we developed a step planner, which uses model predictive control. And so the step planner plans the steps of the robot as it is walking. And this is really hard to do on a resource-constrained platform like the Now robot, because we have very tight timing budgets. But the results look really, really promising and results in interesting walking gaits. And it will be presented in an upcoming paper at the RoboCup 2025 symposium. So check that out if you're interested. However, unfortunately, it's not all joy doing robotics with Rust. And one area where this is really hard due to the evolving ecosystem in Rust is doing machine learning. So right now, all of our machine learning models that we have are trained in Python and not in Rust. And also, we do neural network inference on the Now itself. And for that, we use C++ libraries. So for one, we have a handcrafted just-in-time compiler for neural networks, which transforms models to assembly, which can then execute on the robot, but it is relatively brittle. And we also use OpenVINO to do inference for some of our larger networks. But both of these solutions actually caused us a lot of headaches, both in building or compiling for the Now, and also for developers, because typically the bindings require unsafe Rust to work with. And so we really would love to throw these dependencies out and replace them by Rust-based ones. But as of now, the Rust ecosystem in that area is not as mature right now. So the available crates are not as fast or as mature. And this already brings us to the end of our small presentation. So thank you all for listening, and thank the organizers for giving us the opportunity to speak here. And here you can find our website, our GitHub repository, and our YouTube channel. Thank you really much.
Well, thank you for your talk. It seems quite fun. That's all what I can say. So in the Q&A section, we've got a question. It says, have you attempted using Burn as Rust-based machine learning framework? If so, what are the difficulties when compared to using Python-based frameworks, for instance, Flax?
So unfortunately, as of now, we haven't tried Burn to train our neural networks. It's definitely on our to-do list, but like we see that the ecosystem is not as mature as it is in Python as of now.
Well, that you're in luck because the next speaker.
Yes, we saw that as well. Yeah.
We're really interested in that.
Yeah. So, well, that would be the next talk of the seminar. And we also have other questions from Jonas. He asks, do you also do purely numerical simulations of your robots playing against in silico opponents?
The last part I actually didn't get, but like we have simulation environments. The one we use the most currently is just the behavioral part. So just simulating decisions and having a very high level view. We recently engaged also in some reinforcement learning for motion control. For that, we mainly relied on Mujoku as a simulation environment. But there's currently nothing for us in production and heavily used, which simulates the entire physical world of the robot. So I don't know, hopefully that answers the question.
Okay. And there's a last question. It says, did you try using I don't know how to read this, for Rust, the credit is a safe wrapper that uses its API. The name is on runtime, but I don't know how to.
ONX runtime.
Maybe you can ONX runtime, okay.
I think we haven't run ONX runtime on the Now platform itself, which is because ONX runtime is really hard to get to work with Yocto Linux correctly. And this is why we chose OpenVINO.
Yeah, the last time we tried that out was a hassle of just getting it cross-compiled for the robot. That might be a viable choice. I know of other teams that also tried that. Just looking at the numbers of comparing ONX runtime versus OpenVINO for first results across different teams, so they are not that reliable. Seems to be that OpenVINO is a little faster, and our handcrafted assembly JIT thing for neural networks on the Now is way faster, but way more brittle. So we have to try ONX runtime in the future, definitely, yeah.
Okay. Well, are you gonna stay for the discussion session, or you haven't decided yet?
I think we go there, right?
Yeah.
It's in the afternoon, right?
So just in case more people have questions with regarding RoboCups.
Yeah, if you just are curious of like looking at how it looks like and everything, just head to the YouTube channel. There are a few videos giving you an impression of like also how intense and emotional these events can be.